Hello, welcome to lesson 13. Today, we're going to talk about dictionaries. Not this dictionary, but the data structure. A dictionary is similar to a list where it can store 0 or more items as a key-value pair, but the order is not maintained. A key-value pair is basically a pair of values where you can access a value through a key. Let's use an actual dictionary as an example. When we don't know what a word means, we will look up that word in a dictionary. Cool, let's head on over to dictionary.com. Cool, let's search up the word programmer. Let's hit enter, and basically it's a person who writes code for computer programs. So in this example, the key would be programmer, and the value would be the definition, a person who writes code for computer programs. And also, the key and the values are both of the type string, because it is basically a sequence of characters. So similar to a list, it is important to stay consistent with the types. So if the key is of type string, then all keys should be of type string. And vice versa, if the value is of type string, then all values should be of type string. Cool. So to create a dictionary in Python, all we need to do is declare a variable. So in this example, the variable is called definitions. Next, we use an equal sign to assign the dictionary to the variable definitions. Next, we need to use an opening squiggle bracket to start the dictionary. Inside the bracket, this is where you can place all of your key value pairs, where the key goes first, followed by a colon, which is followed by the value. Similar to a list, we use a comma to separate multiple items. Inside the dictionary, we can add as many key value pairs as we want. Finally, at the end, we need to use a closing squiggle bracket to wrap up all the key value pairs inside the dictionary. Cool, now let's do this in code. So first, let's create our variable definitions, and then we use the equal sign to assign the value. Then we open it with the squiggle brackets. So in Replit, it auto completes the squiggle brackets. So now hit enter. So now inside here, we pass it the key value pairs. So let's do programmer colon, and then a person that writes code. And then we put a comma to add the next item. So now we put code, and then colon, and then we put computer instructions. Nice. Now that we have our dictionary, let's try to get a value from it. So to do that, all you have to do is type definitions, which is the name of the dictionary. Then you use the square brackets, and inside here, you pass it the key. So let's pass it programmer. And now let's hit run, and we get nothing. So to get something to show up in the console, we have to use the print function. So let's put print, and then open the parentheses and close it. So now let's hit run. And now we get a person that writes code. The syntax here is very similar to a list, but the only difference is instead of passing an index, we pass it a key. So now if we want the definition for code, we just change programmer to code. And now let's hit run. And here we see computer instructions. Cool, let's try passing a key that does not exist in our dictionary. Let's try using my name, Vincent. And now let's click run. And here we get an error saying key error Vincent. So basically what this error is saying is that the key Vincent does not exist in our dictionary. So to fix this, all we have to do is add a comma and then add Vincent inside our dictionary. So the definition is cool guy. And now let's click run again. Perfect. As expected, we got cool guy. One thing to note is that this key is case sensitive. So instead of putting a capital V, let's change it to a lowercase v. And now let's click run. And here we get an error saying key error Vincent. So we can definitely fix this by adding another Vincent in our dictionary like this. But now this is kind of redundant. For example, if we wanted to change the definition from cool guy to coding guy, we would have to do this for every Vincent inside the dictionary. So in this case, it'll be twice. So instead, what we can do is we can stay consistent. So we can get rid of this key Vincent with a capital V. And then all we have to do is make sure that every key inside our dictionary are all lowercase. And now if we click run, we're going to see coding guy. Cool, so I wanted to share another neat trick that a lot of engineers use. So for example, if we had Vincent here, so what we can do is after the quotation mark, we can do dot lower and open the parentheses. And basically what this does is it returns a copy of the string converted to a lowercase. And now let's click run, and as you can see, we got coding guy even though we passed it a Vincent with a capital V. Basically what lower does is it returns a string with all lower cases. This is handy because in a real life situation, we don't know what a user will type. For example, someone can type Vincent like this, or they can type it like this. So in this case, there are many different ways to write my name with capitals and lower cases. If we were to write code to handle each and every case, it would take us forever and our code would be very messy. So by using lower, we can eliminate all these extra cases, and then in our code, all we'll have to deal with is just Vincent in all lower cases. So another thing we can do is we can check whether that key exists in our dictionary before we try to use it. So all we have to do is type if Vincent in definitions, and then we hit the tab, and then we can print definitions Vincent, and let's remove the lower, and let's get rid of these two lines at the bottom, and let's click run. And now as you can see, nothing shows up because this Vincent with a capital V does not exist in our dictionary. So now let's change this to a lowercase v and a lowercase v, and let's hit run again. And now our code is safe from keys that do not exist in our dictionary. Nice, and that's basically how dictionaries work in Python. Cool, so since we have extra time, let's revisit the practice problem from the previous lesson. So basically the question was, write a function that takes a list of fruits represented as a string and basically calculate the total costs of all of the items inside the list. First, we need to create a function, so let's do def, and let's just call it calculate total. And here we'll pass it a cart, which will represent the fruits inside the cart. And next, what we want is basically a variable to keep track of the total, so total equals 0. Then what we want to do is loop through each item inside the cart, so we can just do for item in cart. And the challenging part of this problem is that each item is represented as a string. So we have apple, banana, strawberry, and pineapple. So what we'll have to do in our code is we have to check if the item is an apple, and if it is, we have to associate the price of an apple for that item and add it to our total. So all we have to do here is if item equals apple, then we just want to update our total and add $3. So basically all we did in this code is for each item, we check whether it's an apple, banana, strawberry, or pineapple. And if we hit the else case, that just means that this is an invalid item. And basically, we update our total based on the price of each item. And finally, at the end, we return the total. So now let's test our code out. So let's do print calculate total. And then let's pass it a list of items. So let's try the empty case. And let's hit run. We should expect 0. And now let's copy this line. And now let's put an apple, a banana, a strawberry, and a pineapple. And now let's click run, and here we got 11, which looks right to me. 5 plus 2, 7, 10, 11. And then now let's try this again with a random item in here. So let's put Vincent, and let's click run. And here, as you can see, it says item does not exist, and we did not add anything to our total, and we get 11 again. This code looks great, but we can also further improve it by using a dictionary. So let's create a dictionary called prices. So prices equal open squiggle brackets, and then here let's put apple, and then let's put 3 because it's $3. And as you can see, all keys are all capitals and they are all strings. And for the values, we only have integers. So this is good because we're staying consistent. So now instead of doing all these checks, what we can do is we can just do if item is in prices, then what we want to do is just do total plus equal prices item, because the item is basically a string that represents apple, banana, strawberry, pineapple, or etc. And all we're doing is we're checking whether this item exists in our dictionary, and if it does, then we can add the value to our total. And then for the else case, the item does not exist. And look at that, we simplified our code so much. And now let's click run. And as you can see, we still get the same results, but now we're using a dictionary. Hopefully this lesson made sense. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content.